What if I told you one of the biggest car companies in the world started with a man who failed so badly that even Toyota rejected his work? A man whose factory was destroyed by war, then destroyed again by an earthquake, and who still refused to quit. This is the untold story of Honda. What comes to your mind when you hear the name Honda? Reliable cars? Fast motorcycles? Maybe Formula One racing? But behind one of the biggest engineering companies in the world is a story most people have never heard. A story of failure, destruction, rejection, and an obsession with machines that nearly destroyed its founder before making him legendary. The story begins in a small village in Japan in 1906. A boy named Soichiro Honda was born into a poor family. His father repaired bicycles, and young Soichiro spent hours watching him fix broken parts. Unlike other children, he didn't care much about school. He was fascinated by engines, grease, noise, and speed. Teachers considered him distracted. Some even thought he would never succeed in life. But Soichiro Honda had something unusual: obsession. At the age of 15, he left home and moved to Tokyo to work as a mechanic. He cleaned floors, repaired vehicles, and spent endless nights learning how engines worked. Eventually, he became one of the best mechanics in the workshop. But Honda didn't just want to repair machines. He wanted to build them. In the 1930s, he started his first major business, manufacturing piston rings for engines. There was only one problem. His products were terrible. When he tried selling them to Toyota, they rejected almost everything he made. For many people, that kind of humiliation would end the dream. For Honda, it became motivation. He realized he lacked engineering knowledge, so he went back to study metallurgy and manufacturing techniques. He learned from professors, engineers, and factory workers. After years of failure and experimentation, Toyota finally accepted his piston rings. Honda's company began to grow. And then disaster struck. World War II changed everything. American bombings destroyed much of Honda's factory. Then, shortly afterward, an earthquake destroyed what remained. Imagine spending years building a company only to watch it disappear. Twice. Most people would quit. Honda did not. He sold the remains of his company and looked for a new opportunity in post-war Japan. And Japan at that time was devastated. Fuel was scarce, cars were expensive, transportation barely functioned. People struggled just to move from one town to another. Then Honda noticed something interesting. People were attaching tiny engines to bicycles. The idea looked simple. But Honda saw the future. He believed affordable motorized transportation could change millions of lives. That idea became the foundation of Honda Motor Company in 1948. But here's something many people don't know. Honda almost never became a car company. At first, the company focused almost entirely on motorcycles. And Honda motorcycles quickly became famous for one reason: they worked. While many bikes at the time were unreliable and difficult to maintain, Honda built lightweight, efficient motorcycles that ordinary people could use every day. Then came the breakthrough: the Honda Super Cub. Small, cheap, easy to ride, and nearly impossible to destroy. It became a global phenomenon. In fact, the Super Cub would eventually become the best-selling motor vehicle in history. Not motorcycle, motor vehicle. More than 100 million units sold worldwide. But Honda's ambitions were much larger. Soichiro Honda was obsessed with racing. He believed competition exposed weaknesses faster than laboratory testing ever could. So Honda entered motorcycle racing competitions across Europe. At the time, European manufacturers dominated the sport. Many people laughed at the small Japanese company trying to compete against giants. But Honda kept improving, year after year, race after race. And eventually, Honda started winning. Those victories changed how the world viewed Japanese engineering forever. And from that point on, Honda was no longer just a motorcycle company. It was becoming a global engineering powerhouse. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories about legendary companies and cars. And comment below, which brand should I cover next?